Hi, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. We're talking Auburn football like we always do. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Now, I just wanted, I got to recap on Gus Malzahn's interview regarding the first scrimmage. And it's very, encouraging, I guess, in a way, to where these guys are really ready to play for the most part. You talk about physicality, you talk about intensity, and it's just great to see. So when the first portion of the interview, Gus Malzahn talked about the guys, being in tune to, as far as the COVID-19, the responsibility that it takes to execute this is really admirable for college kids. Because, I remember when I was in college, I didn't care about the rules. As a matter of fact, when you talk about being a young person, you're almost a rule defiant. So the fact that these guys are trying to keep this thing under control, zero COVID testing, as far as positivity goes, says a lot for the Auburn program right now. Because prior to, there were some positive as far as results, COVID-wise, but now Auburn seems to be getting that thing under control. Because then when you look at the rest of the nation, you don't want to be a part of the problem. And responsibility is key. And yes, the players want to play. But if you want to play, you just have to take the responsible measures in order to do so. And I think that's huge for the Tigers as far as a coaching standpoint and things of that nature. Also, Auburn is going into, as far as scrimmaging goes, I think only 4 days in the camp. It's really hard to get a gauge as to who is really going to emerge. You got to get a little bit more sample size. I think, this is the fan base really has to look at the fact that, practices hadn't been going on long, and this is the first scrimmage. So, the team is at a point where they got to mix some things in. They got to put players in different scenarios to see where they will fit, especially in hostile environments. Because a lot of folks don't know, you might have been a great recruit, but what is it going to be like when we place you in a hostile environment? And how does it, as far as a trend standpoint, how do you respond as time goes on? Because when you start talking about real live play, you talk about playing against LSU, Arkansas, Georgia, we got to know that we can trust you in these particular scenarios. And I think this is just too early for Auburn to really know and gauge where they are with these types of players. Now, he did mention, which was actually a pretty good tidbit in this, he talked about Matthew Hill. I was really big on, I wanted to know where the coaches stood on Matthew Hill. And he talked about the fact that Matthew Hill was recruited as a wide receiver and a defensive back. Now, most of us know Matthew Hill has made the conversion from wide receiver to cornerback. Auburn is in a desperate need for a field cornerback, boundary corner, whatever it is. Let's just say Roger McCreary comes along and plays that field cornerback properly. Matthew Hill is going to be on the boundary. And that's something he mentioned. I wanted to hear this. I really wanted to hear this because I wanted to know what the status was on Matthew Hill in this type of situation. I think we gotta use this particular scrimmage and interview to migrate to the next interview and the next scrimmage, because there's a lot of vague information here. I think Gus Malzahn kind of knows where he wants to go with this particular program. And like I said, it's great information, guys. I'm going to have the interview in the comment section because I want you all guys to hear what I heard. But the biggest takeaway was I really liked the emphasis on Matthew Hill's conversion from wide receiver to defensive back. This makes, the first time, well, not the first time, but consecutive years almost that Auburn has had to do this. And I think Gus Malzahn had to do this as far as converting a wide receiver to defensive back. But I think Gus Malzahn has done a good job, and his staff has done a good job of actually recruiting to where these things will happen. It will be a less occurrence of these position changes having to happen. All right, guys, really enjoyed the interview with Gus Malzahn. I got it in the comment section. You can click on and hear Gus Malzahn. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.